ललिता हिरण्यकशिपु तनुभृङ्गं केशवद्भीता नरहरिरूपा जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे जय नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंहदेव नरसिंहदेव जय नरसिंह जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रहलाद महाराज जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय गुरुदेवाय जय गुरुदेवाय गुरुदेवाय जय गुरु। ओम तत्सत। लक्ष्मी नृसिंह भगवान की, प्रहलाद महाराज की, शिला प्रभुपाद की, नित्याय गो प्रबंधे, हरि हरि बोल। So now if you have time, you can sit down, then we lecture. Someone will come and give the lecture on Bhagavad Gita. Everyone should know Bhagavad Gita. Everyone should. All other people follow their religion. Why can't we follow our Bhagavad Gita? If you learn only 18 chapter, 700 slokas. So you learn any 5 slokas, 4 slokas, what you learn, that will help you in future life. Okay, Hare Krishna. So someone will come and give the lecture, and then we can glorify Radha Kukulan. Or you can carry on until someone comes. You can chant Hare Krishna, all of you. This Prabhu is singing nicely. Where is he gone? Okay. Are you going now? Hare Krishna, go down.
Excellent. Sorry. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram, Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram, Sita Ram Jai Sita Ram, Sita Ram Jai Sita Ram, Vajaman Pyare Sita Ram, Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram, Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram, Ishwa Krishna Tero Naam, Sabko Sanmati De Bhagavan, Ishwa Krishna Tero Naam, Sabko Sanmati De Bhagavan, Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram, Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram, Ratri Nindra Divase Ka, Kyare Bhajasu Sita Ram, Ratri Nindra Divase Ka, Kyare Bhajasu Sita Ram, Sita Ram Jai Sita Ram, Vajaman Pyare Sita Ram, Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram, Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram, Swase Swase Bolo Ram, Swase Swase Bolo Ram, Mukh mein tulsi kant mein Ram, Jab bolo tab bolo Sita Ram, Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram, Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram, Sita Ram Jai Sita Ram, Vajaman Pyare Sita Ram, Raghupati Raghav Raja Ram, Patita Pavana Sita Ram. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. See, that's how you sing. You glorify deity. We have two deities, Radha Gokulanand and Ram Lakshman Janaki Hanumanji. Wherever you go in the whole world, there should be deities. They glorify them, deity. That's very important. Because they are not ordinary deity, they can listen to your prayer. And the curtain is open. Shyolaji. Now, it will be Bhagavad Gita class. So please sit and listen carefully. And then at the end of lecture, you can ask any question you have. Question, comment, religion. And there will be 7 o'clock Sandhya Arati. So please stay. You are here already. You got golden opportunity. Prabhuji here. And you listen to them. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Gauranga. Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivardhari Yasodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Yasodanandana Jaya Braja Janaranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Haribo, 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 Nichai go, Haribo, 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 Nichai go, Haribo. Go Premanandi, Haribo. Hare Krishna. So we're just going to start the Bhagavad Gita class now, and we're going to be reading from Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. When we're giving class, if anyone's here, if they could come this side for the class, if that's okay, thank you. We're reading from the 10th chapter. We'll start with the invocation mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we're on the 10th chapter entitled Opulence of the Absolute, and we're on the 38th verse, 10:38, and I'll recite some of the Sanskrit, and then we can do it in call and response if you want, if we do get it up on the screen. Pardon me. Dando dayam yatam ashmi nitir ashmi jigasistam monam chaivashmi guhuyunam jamma janavitam miham. Dando dam yayam ashmi nitir ashmi jigasatam monam chaivishami gunainam janam janvitam eham. Would anyone like to recite the Sanskrit? Nando Dayanti Ayasmi. Nitya Asmi Jigasatam. Monam Chaivyasmi Gunayayam. Jnanam Jnana Vitamaham. So we'll go to word for word. It's a call and response on a word for word translation. So, Danda, punishment. Damyatam, of all means of suppression. Asmi, I am. Nitye, morality. Asmi, I am. Jigashatam, of those who seek victory. Manam, silence. Cha, and. Eva, also. Asmi, I am. Guyanam, of secrets. Jnananam, knowledge. Jnanavatam, of the wise. Eham, I am. Sanskrit's an amazing language. It means perfect. It's very perfect. We can't understand it in this age, obviously. Anyway, we're going to look at the translation from the original Bhagavad Gita by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. Among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment, and of those who seek victory, I am morality. Look at that, his door's just opening. That's all right, isn't it? I wonder who's just come in. No? I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence, and of the wise, I am wisdom. So we'll do a bit of call and response on the translation. Among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment, and of those who seek victory, I am morality. Of secret things, I am silence, and of the wise, I am wisdom. Purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. There are many suppressing agents, of which the most important are those that cut down miscreants. When miscreants are punished, the agency of chastisement presents Krishna. Among those who are trying to be victorious in some field of activity, the most victorious element is morality. Among the confidential activities of hearing, thinking and meditating, silence is the most important, because by silence one can make progress very quickly. The wise man is he who can discriminate between matter and spirit, between God's superior and inferior natures. Such knowledge is Krishna himself. Om Hagina Turlamandasya Jananjana Shalaikaya Shakshu Militam Yina Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shavasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vastaya Bhutale Shmari Shivam Swami Chinamane Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki. So we're reading from this 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, entitled Opulence of the Absolute. And as we go to approach the Bhagavad Gita, at the beginning there's the introduction, and in the introduction, which is quite a long amount of pages, around about 30 pages I think, but explains, Srila Prabhupada explains in the introduction that the Bhagavad Gita covers 5 main subject matters. which is the actual, first is the Ishwara, the supreme personality, Godhead, and then the Jiva, the spirit, the soul, our identity as a spirit. It covers Prakriti, material nature, this material world, the material universe, and which actually the material universe, even though it seems material, when it breaks down, the matter, when it breaks down into, as time takes it away, and it goes into almost nothing that you can see, that dust and those smaller dust particles, they actually go back into the spiritual energy, because they actually, that's a spiritual energy, Prakriti, even though it appears to us as a material. Everything belongs to Krishna ultimately. And then there's Kala, time. Kala is eternal time. Because we live in a realm of relative time, but actually there's no such thing as time, because ultimately we are timeless. Our original identity, we're eternal. And then there's karma. So that's the Ishwara, the supreme. It covers these 5 subjects: the Jiva, the living entity, the soul; Prakriti, material nature; Kala means time; and karma. Karma means activities. It means fruitive activities, actually. So karma is the only one out of those 5 which is temporary. The other 4 are eternal. And karma's temporary because we, as a spirit soul, may misuse our goal of life. We may misuse this body, this human form, for trying to enjoy too much in the world without sort of seeking out spiritual knowledge. And when one tries to satisfy one's temporary desires away from the original source, with the time principle involved and the action and reaction, and then karma's produced. Karma manifests because it's our reaction of our actions, and that's what binds us into this world through many births. So it's very important to study the Bhagavad Gita, because it covers these main principles for the living entity to actually come away from this world. It's like a highway code book, as you would say. You have the highway code to when you learn to drive a car. It tells you the signs, the road signs, how to move legally on the road without causing obstruction and problems. So Bhagavad Gita is for the living entity to come free of suffering and the means to an end. And so we're that's just a part of the introduction. And so Krishna consciousness, as we understand as well, is that it's not such a religious process. There's higher religion and there's lower religion. Lower side of religion is more, not that we condemn it, it's very important religion in certain ways, but it can be seen as very external when one may say, I'm a Muslim, you're a Hindu, he's a Christian. This is all, it's good in certain ways to follow that process, but actually the higher side of religion is actually we're all spirit souls. We're all eternal servants of God. And Jivara Sarupya Hai Krishnaya Nichadas. We're all eternal servants. And we're brothers and sisters in this material world. And we're down here. And in Krishna consciousness, it's more science of the soul. It's a science. It's a process of applying the knowledge. If we read the scriptures, the Bhagavad Gita, and association of devotees, we can, and when we chant the Hare Krishna mantra, chant the holy name, this is the practice, and through practice it purifies the heart, and then we get guidance how to apply this knowledge, and the proof is in the pudding, as they would say. It's not. You have to taste it. You have to participate. It's not an armchair philosophy. It's active. So this is our and what's required for this age, this dark age of Kali, the age of quarrel, is Harinam eva kevalam kalu yanasti vanasti vanasti vagacha evya anyata. Once you chant the holy name of the Lord constantly, keep chanting and chant and chant. There's no other way. Even in other religions, they explain about chanting God's names, like in the Lord's Prayer, hallowed be thy names. And Krishna explains he's non-different than his name. That's why we chant the holy name. It cleanses the heart. And our the way we are conditioned souls in this world, we easily become covered and forgetful of our ultimate goal, back to our original place, back to with our original mum and dad, back with the Lord. So we need to chant daily, because we become easily covered and forgetful. So we're on this 10th chapter, the opulence of the Absolute. So I'm just going through a little bit of introduction there. We're going to a little bit of overview of the chapter. So in this chapter, it's called Opulences of the Absolute, and it's where Arjuna, dear Arjuna, the Lord's devotee, Arjuna and Krishna. Arjuna is a pure devotee of Krishna, and he's Krishna, through his arrangement, is actually made Arjuna, in a way, in some forgetful situation. He's helped Arjuna sort of forget his original position as a soul, and he's become almost like a common man, asking questions in the Bhagavad Gita. So this Bhagavan, Supreme Lord in Gita, is a song. It's a song of God, and it's a conversation between the Lord and his dear devotee. And it's just before a great battle, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And this battlefield's a big, it's a big battle. It's 640 million men. There's 48 miles of men on one side and 27 miles of men on the other side. And it's a world war just about to take place. It's a religious war for a higher cause. And Arjuna's been pulled through the chariot. He's on the chariot. He's a great warrior. And Arjuna's asked Krishna to say, go closer to those, go into that field, Krishna, could you go closer? And Krishna is so kind. He's become a chariot driver of his devotee. He's Partha Sarvasti, and he's took a lower position. He's down there, lower position, and Arjuna's up there on the terrace looking round, and Krishna's sort of out of love, and he knows his devotee loves him. He's out of love. He's decided to be his driver on his chariot, and Arjuna says, "Go that way. Go between the armies. Let me see who's on the other side." So then Krishna comes down in between the center of the armies, and he looks right in front. Arjuna looks across, and all he sees is his kinsmen. He sees his uncle, his guru, his dear relatives, and it's hard for him. So he breaks down like any normal person would, and that's where the Bhagavad Gita starts to be spoken through Arjuna's doubt. I don't want to fight. I don't care if they win the kingdom. I can't enjoy a kingdom if it's tainted with the blood of my relatives. If we kill all these soldiers, it'll be there'll be many fatherless children. There'll be widows. There'll be unwanted progeny. And what enjoyment could I have in my kingdom if I know that I've done this such a bad act of killing? So Arjuna comes up with many reasons why he shouldn't fight, and Krishna answers all his questions and explains his duty. So in the 10th chapter, the opulence of the Absolute, Arjuna's saying to Krishna, "Can you show me your opulences? Because many people, unless they're wise and spiritual, very spiritually minded, they can't understand ahamsa vasya prabhavo matasava pravartante iti macha bhajante mam buddhibhava samanvitaha. I am the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me," Krishna says. The wise who perfectly know this, engage in my devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. I've already answered all your questions, Arjuna. Arjuna's, but I'm not so wise, Arjuna says. These common men, they don't understand. They need to see your opulences. So Krishna very kindly actually glances on Arjuna, because Arjuna's very merciful as a devotee. He's speaking on behalf of the mass of humans, the mass of the populace, for Krishna to show his beautiful opulences to everyone, and because they may need to see, the average person needs to see sometimes a physical representation of God it's hard to meditate, or they need proof, not say proof, but some kind of. So Krishna explains all these different opulences. And in this translation, there we go to the translation. Danda, like it starts off with the Sanskrit word danda. Danda means, it's the rod of chastisement. It's danda, to do. And I was just thinking about danda, like in Krishna consciousness, through Srila Prabhupada's mercy, through the parampara, in the Brahma Madhava Gaudiya Sampradaya. Our sannyasis, they carried a danda, but they carried a tridanda, not the ekadanda. Yeah. Sorry? Yeah, Prabhupada's holding his danda, yes. And Prabhupada's carrying a tridanda, not ekadanda. Some sannyasis in the more Mayavad philosophy, they carry the ekadanda, we're all one. Me and God are the same, but actually the tridanda is the Vaishnav danda, and it means the mind, the body, and the words. And which we understand actually also it represents, the body, the spirit, and Krishna, in a way, the super soul. We're actually, because so it's the danda is there. So he says Krishna explains, among all means of suppressing lawlessness, I am punishment. And because there was like, so Krishna also, he there needs to be, in society, there needs to be order. We're talking a little bit about, we don't talk too much about punishment, but we're always getting, not punished, we punish ourselves actually in the material world. We're self-punishers in a way, because we turn away from Krishna. But when Krishna sees us look for him and call on him, he'll take 10 steps. If we take one, he'll help us. The devotee never perishes, even if he commits the most, not that we do, but if he does something, he doesn't do it under the strength of thinking God will protect him, but if he accidentally has his troubles, the Lord also protects him, as long as he repents sincerely. But that's not the goal of thinking we're going to go derogatory. We need to always pray for help to become more positive. And Krishna sees the heart, so he gives us intelligence. Actually says in chapter 10, Te samsata yuktanam bhajatam pratipurvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yinamam upayante te. For those who are constantly devoted to me with love, who call upon me, I give them the intelligence by which to come. Krishna is in the heart. He gives buddhi yoga. He gives knowledge. And if one is sincere, because Krishna is the super soul in the heart of all living entities. We're the jiva, we're the spirit. They say the soul, the jiva, our identity resides in the body, material body, in this area. It's hard to see because it's subtle. It's actually not even subtle. It's more finer than subtle. It's spirit. It's eternal. And the soul resides here. Next to the soul is the Paramatma, is the super soul, is God within the heart. Like two birds on a tree. There's two birds on a tree. One is eating the fruit, and the other bird is just watching everything he does. That's Krishna. So Krishna is always there, guiding, and he gives us knowledge. There was this, I just think about where Krishna also, there's an example in Srimad Bhagavatam, there was a king called King Vena. He was a very heinous king, and when he was born, his father was a great devotee, but his wife he married was I think she was the daughter of death personified. And when she had her child, they had this like demoniac king, this demoniac son, and he became to be known as King Vena. And even when he was younger, he was very atheistic, and also he would play bows and arrows, and he would shoot his friends, kill his friends, and cause havoc. And the father was so upset that his father, who was a king, he left the kingdom and went to the forest, with a broken heart. And King Vena grew old, and he became such a bad king. And he tried to stop all the sacrifices of the Brahmins. or the Brahmins, or the priests who were sincerely giving their yagyas, giving their offerings to the Lord. And because he was meant to be a kshatriya, a warrior, or a protector of society. And the kshatriyas should always get guidance. Jai Shri Radha Gokulananda, Shri Sitaram Latran Hanuman Shri Gauranitai Ki Jai. So the kshatriyas need to get guidance from the Brahmanas originally, because they would a good kshatriya, a good king would always confide in his spiritual master and his guru. And but King Vena wasn't. He thought he was God pretty much, and so he tried to stop the Brahmins doing their sacrifices, and he also killed some of them. He created havoc. So some of the Brahmins, they came together and they prayed to Krishna, and Krishna empowered them, and they chanted this powerful mantra, and they actually they had to actually kill him. But they did it through transcendental sound. They chanted. And when King Vena, they didn't want to do that, but because even though he was a very bad king, they wanted to, they had to remove him, but they had to think of a plan, because if sometimes you can take away a king, but if you haven't got no one in his place, society could become very, Hare Krishna, there could become very big problems in society. There could become many villains and unrest. So what they did, they turned his body and chanted certain mantras, and then a great incarnation of Krishna appeared from his thighs, I think. And that was King Prithu Maharaj. It was an incarnation of Krishna come to establish the ruling force. And no, I was just doing this as an example, really, where Krishna actually can suppress lawlessness through his devotees, and he comes to save them. Actually, that's what in the Bhagavad Gita explains about Krishna coming to rescue his devotees. Really, because that's when Krishna explains Yadu Yadu He Dharmashya Glenar Bharvati Bharata. When there's a rise of irreligion and a degradation of religious principle, at that time I descend to the material world. I come to rescue my devotees. I come to re-establish principles of religion, and I chastise the miscreants. This is Krishna's mission statement, actually. When a devotee calls upon him, as a pure devotee, and there's trouble down in the material world, and a devotee calls for Krishna, please come. Because that's how Lord Chaitanya came 500 years ago. Lord Chaitanya, Krishna is actually, Lord Chaitanya is Krishna in the form of a devotee. And, it was his great disciple, not disciple, but actually his great associate, Advaita Acharya. Advaita Acharya was there on the banks of the Ganga, and he's seen that actually in the age of Kali, many so-called religionists were not following the process of bhakti, of devotion, and they were just doing it for money and fame, pratishta, and there was the religious principles were declining rapidly. So Advaita Acharya had his Shaligram Shila, and he put his tulsi leaves on him, and he was offering water and Ganga water, and he was saying, "Dear Lord, come, please come and wake up these sleeping souls. Jiva Jago. Because everyone in Kali Yuga is so sleeping that we need you to come and help us." Gauranga, he called upon the Lord Chaitanya. So then not long later, Nimai was born in Navadvip in 1486. And Lord Chaitanya came. And he gave us the Yuga Dharma in Kali Yuga is Harinam Sankirtan, is to chant the names of God. It's quite simple for the simple, but complicated for the complicated. It's a simple process. So the actual great benefit, Srila Prabhupada's given us the formula in Bhagavad Gita is to understand that actually we should chant God's names, the Hare Krishna mantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And this is actually the process in Kali Yuga is to chant, because it's difficult to do other things, because we're not so spiritual in this age, you know. Like in Sachi Yuga, in the Golden Age, there's 4 ages, Chato Yugas, and Sachi Yuga, they meditate for many years because they live very long time. They live something like 10,000 years, and then in Treta Yuga was yagyas, big yagya, much gold, and sacrifices, and then in Dwapara Yuga is worshipping the form of the Lord, the Archa Vigraha, the deity. And in Kali Yuga, because it's difficult to even get to a temple in Kali Yuga, for anyone to even think about God. So Lord Chaitanya's come and made it very simple. So just chant and try to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita from Srila Prabhupada and his disciples. And if you get a chance to come to the temple to worship the form of the Lord, Bhagavan, Krishna in his form, the Krishna is the deity is non-different than Krishna, but he sees us as well, because what is our qualification to see the Lord? But Krishna says, work in a way, do your service in a way that I see you, that I look for you. So the Lord knows our hearts, and also coming to reside in a holy place. Mathurya Bhashya, these are the benefits. And association devotees. Try and get associations of sadhu sangha. So Srila Prabhupada explains that basic knowledge is we're not the body, we're the soul, we're spirit soul. And the soul is not just a spirit soul. The soul has a relationship. We have the relationship to the Supreme Lord through devotion, through bhakti. Bhakti means devotion. And bhakti mama bhigyananti yivam yatasmai tapvidaha. If one wants to enter the kingdom of God, then Krishna checks our heart, and if we're sincerely surrendering and working in devotional service, then he'll help guide us back. And at a certain point to do this, though, one does need a spiritual master. Tavvidi pranayapatena parvasena sivaya upadekshanti ti ganainas tattvadarshana. If one wants to learn the truth, he should approach a spiritual master. He should inquire submissively and render service unto him, because the self-realized soul has seen the truth. So we need help. If we got a class, it's okay. Can you? Thank you. Yeah. So we everybody needs guidance in this age. And so Prabhupada explains the spirit soul has a relationship with God. And God is not just impersonal, Brahman. And beyond Brahman, it's a super soul. But actually beyond the super soul is Bhagavan, the supreme personality of Godhead. So when you chant Hare Krishna, you get to understand that actually God has a form. He's not formless, and he's our friend. And he's always with us. He never leaves us. And it comes through surrender. Devi he sugunamayi mama maya tarantaya mami viya prapanyante mayamitam tarantate. Krishna explains this divine energy of mine. It's difficult to cross over, but for one who surrenders unto me, will cross beyond without fail. So yeah, it's Srila Prabhupada explains, try and make this one life, your give it to Krishna. Practice sadhana, because at the time of death, it's a very difficult time. But if we've been practicing, hopefully we remember Krishna at the time of death. That's the goal of Krishna consciousness. Actually, it's the art of dying, so-called. There's no death really, as we understand, as a spirit soul. But most of us, conditioned souls, are not on the platform of Nityasiddha, of the platform of the soul. That's why we need to practice. We're mamamsa jiva loka jiva bhuta sanatana manasa shishtriyani praksistani karshate. Krishna explains these these parts and parcels, you're all part of me. You're all my parts and parcels. But the living entity, this little jiva, is struggling very hard with the 6 senses, which include the mind. So we're in a conditioned state. We're in the material world. We've walked away. At one point, we stepped away through our own misuse of free will. We stepped away, and we've come down into the prison house. We've come down into the sewers a bit. The material world, as Prabhupada explains, material world, it's like a toilet. You don't hang around there too long, he says. You go to toilet, you don't take your best things with you. You pass stool, then you leave. Meaning, whilst in the material world, it's always problem. Dukkhalayam shashritam, birth, death, old age, disease. Not that we renounce it, not that we become averse, but we need to, if we can, seriously, sincerely, call out for help to Krishna to guide us out of the material world with a shining lamp of knowledge. Because there's many births, samsara chakra, there's always, from the Abrahma Bhuvaloka, Punaravatino Arjuna, from the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, are all places of suffering where repeated birth and death take place. So Krishna consciousness is really showing the goalposts, not just the light, but the goalposts. And if we meditate more on the goalposts of serving Krishna through chanting the holy name, association with devotees, honoring prasadam, eating the spiritual food, worshipping the Lord, worshipping the deity, deity worship, and hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, and residing in a holy place. This should help cleanse us, keep us on track a little bit, keep the rope, keep hold of the rope out of the dark cave of the material world. It's like the Matrix, it's a matrix, and take the red pill or the blue pill, either go back in. Prabhupada explains the human form of life is very rare throughout all the millions of different species, and the human body junction is a rare species. But in the human form of life, you have the ability to question atata brahma jigyasa. Who am I? What's this place? Where am I going? What's the goal? Why do I suffer? So Prabhupada explains, use this human form of life for its best causes, inquiry and devotional service. So we got sort of 10 minutes. Does anyone have any questions at all? Anything they want to ask or anything?
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. You mentioned earlier on briefly about it being the art of dying.
Yeah.
Could you expand on that a bit more, please?
Yeah. You're asking about Krishna consciousness being like an art of dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a way that we're, from the moment you're born, from the second you're born, you're dying, right? The body's dying. As we enter this classroom or the temple room, we were a bit younger before we came in. There's that side of it. Of course, the body's always, it's gradually going away. Time is there. Nothing can outwhat time. And Prabhupada explains that the birth is very difficult, and he says death is very difficult. So there's an art of leaving this world. There's an art, and it's ultimately through God's mercy. Because when Srila Prabhupada was leaving this world, he was chanting Hare Krishna. He was chanting fully surrendered to Krishna. There's quite a sad video of him leaving the world, but we don't like to watch it too much. But when Prabhupada was leaving and he was still chanting, he was also. So he also taught us how to die. We don't die because we're eternal. But whilst we're in the body, leaving this body, so there's no really, we don't really die. But it's a process of leaving the body is a tough one for the average person because we're so attached. We're so attached to the senses, and the relatives, everyone, But Prabhupada explains at the time of death, yam yam vapi smaram bhavam tejati namananta kevalam, whatever you think of at the time of death, that state you will attain without fail. And that point, through practice, so we have to practice. It's not just that we just say, oh, I'll do this when I'm older, I might do this later on in life. So if Krishna, actually Lord Chaitanya explains, for those who spread this knowledge, who help me in the mission, the devotees, he says, at the time of death, I'll enter into your mind. So that this is the greatest fortune anyone can have, is if, you to get mercy. Because nothing really belongs to us in this world. The body don't belong to us, it belongs to Krishna. The soul, our spirit soul, we actually belong to Krishna. The only thing that really belongs to us is our free will. But we're still individual. We're still individual. We don't lose our individuality. Like a green bird, a beautiful green bird flies into a beautiful green tree with so many leaves, and he flies in there. You see him fly in, but he hasn't become the tree. He's still individual. He sits there on a branch. So Krishna reciprocates. Yatamam prapanyante tamstadevam bhajamiham. So he knows our heart, and actually it says in one of these chapters, in this chapter 10, he also comes as death to a non-devotee. There's mercy, but if one's being very stubborn, especially throughout their lives, and they turn it away, unfortunately they see God as death. But if one is, obviously trying to be a bit humble, go where he belongs, then God will appear and help him, in some way, good way. So that's the preparation for leaving, because it's actually the final lesson. Srila Prabhupada explains that you do so much study, so much hard work. It's okay, we need to get a job, we need to maintain. But he says you go out your way to get super qualified on all these mundane subject matters, but no real preparation for the most important lesson, leaving the world. That's the top PhD. That's when it really counts. So yeah, that's the point of what do you say? Learning how to die or whatever. Yeah. Thank you. Is anyone any other questions? Yeah. So there's 5 minutes until Aarti. We could end here if anyone's got anything else. Okay. Okay, Entourage, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Go Premanandi, Haribo. Okay, Hare Krishna. Thanks for that. Oh. Yeah. Thanks for that. Oh, thanks for coming.
8th chapter. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Juta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavangscha Sri Rupam Ragrajatam Ragana Raghunathan Tang Sajivam Sadaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Sri Visakhanitam Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare.
So if you could please guys just come forward. The lyrics for the arti are just up there, so please repeat after me when I start. Thank you. Shri Radha Gokulanand ki, Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Gauranitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, ki bhajayo jayo Gaurachandre, Arati Kasho